Hi everyone, it's just Adam here from Co, and today is a very special day. It is World Eco-Labelling Day, October the 13th, 2022, and we thought who better to talk to us about World Eco-Labelling Day and why that's so important, none other than Michelle Thomas, CEO of GECA. Now, for those of you who don't know what GECA is or what that even stands for, I think Michelle's going to be able to do a great job of explaining the really important work that GECA do. I'm just going to actually preface it and say what GECA stands for before we lose anybody too quickly. That is the Good Environmental Choice Australia, kind of a little bit of a one to roll off the tongue there. What does that actually mean? Well, GECA is Australia's only independent, not-for-profit eco-labeling standard that's globally recognized. So that's like the high level. So but I'm going to now welcome Michelle. Thanks for joining us, and great to have you with us on this really important day. Tell us, for those who haven't heard of GECA, other than my very simple introduction, tell us a bit about GECA and the important work that you do.
Hi, Adam, and thank you for the lovely introduction. And unfortunately, we're terrible with our acronyms here at GECA as well. So thanks for explaining what it stands for. But what we really stand for is sort of independence, integrity, and impact. GECA's a small not-for-profit organisation. As you said, we are an eco-labelling organisation. And what is an eco-labelling organisation? The Eco-Labelling Organisation is basically a certification body, and we look for products and services, or we certify products and services that really set that sort of benchmark in sustainability areas, and are organisations that really want to do better for people and planet. And we're really about supporting those organisations to be able to prove and show, transparently show the things, the benefits that they're doing with their products and services. You mentioned World Eco-Labelling Day. What is World Eco-Labelling Day? World Eco-Labelling Day was a initiative by GEN, which is the Global Eco-Labelling Network. GECA's very lucky to be part and the only Australian member of the Global Eco-Labelling Network. And it's a group of 28, I'm going to say 28, I hope I'm one or two out there maybe, but 28 different eco-label organisations globally that follow also this type 1 eco-label. Type 1 eco-label is quite different to various other labels that you get out there, whereas it's a multi-factor, multi-criteria eco-label. So it doesn't just look at the one issue or the one problem. There's multiple criteria, and our eco-label looks at health, environment, social aspects, and also ensuring that the product is fit for purpose. It does what it says on the tin. We follow the ISO 2024, so there is a structure to the type of criteria that we look for.
I guess just to share my experience and Co's experience with GECA, when we first started out all those years ago, which is sort of coming up to 7 years ago now, and we had we were looking at this product concept. I think one of the things that was stood out to us, myself and my co-founder Justin, was, well, who is going to believe and who should believe a new brand? A couple of chaps, stay-at-home dads that have got this cleaning product. Why should anybody believe us that we think that this is an eco-friendly product? And truthfully, our own experiences as dads, you start to become obviously a lot more conscious about products and the things that you're buying when you've got little ones crawling around on the floor. Why should anyone believe us that these products are good for the planet, and also weren't even qualified to really be able to say that these products are good? So we actually sort of did a bit of investigation ourselves and felt that we need to partner, or at least align ourselves with an organization who can stand up to scrutiny, who are independent, and that we can actually, put our products to and have a third-party body, be able to say, yes, these pass a strict sort of set of criteria. What's involved for a brand to take their product, whether it's, and just to be clear, it's not just cleaning products, is it? You tell us a little bit more about all the other kind of types of categories that you cover, and what's involved in getting the GECA stamp.
Yeah. Before I start that, you mentioned that you're a partner of GECA, and I really like the fact that you use the word partner, because that's exactly how we feel about all our licensees. your partners. We're trying to work with you. We're trying to work for that continuous improvement, and we do have more than just the cleaning product standard. We've got 28 different standards that range from carpet tiles to panel boards, to cleaning products, to waste services. So we've got a wide variety of products. And the reason why we've got so many standards is because we look specifically to the impact areas for that product or that service. So before I even go into the assessment part, the creation of the standards is a really arduous and long process, because it's got to be good. We've got to do what we say on what it says on the tin as well. So, there's a research process. We then engage with a technical advisory group, where it will be sort of universities, manufacturers, industry bodies, and we sort of provide them with our research, and we get sort of ratification that standard is really covering those hotspot impact areas. We then put that standard out to public comment, so everybody can have their say on our standard before we put it into the marketplace. So it's a long process for us to create the standard in the first place. And you're again very right. It shouldn't be easy for an organisation to do this, because we want it to be better for people and planet. That is one of our brand taglines. This product or this service is better for people and planet. So it's got to look at all of those factors. It's got to look at all of those sustainability areas, any of those real problem impact areas. So there's, up to 40 criteria within our standards. And like I said, they look at health, environment, social, and fit for purpose. And an organisation will come to us voluntarily. There is no law to say you need to get certified by an ISO 14021 Type 1 Eco label. It's organisations wanting to come and do this. They'll come through to us. They'll then have to go through that entire sort of up to 40 criteria within the standard, provide documents of conformance. There's a lot of work.
And it's by product, isn't it, as well? I think this is the important thing. So we always have to be careful. So we're not eco certified as the brand. It's literally on a by product basis. And certainly what we do now is, when we're looking at new products, and we've got for example a new dish product coming out, the formulation journey for us actually started by actually looking at the cleaning product standard and going, that's the basis for how we develop these products. We do want it to be exceptional and that high performance, but this is what I challenge the scientists we work with. It's got to meet these criteria, and so let's start there, and that really does become the sort of like the benchmark for us. But sorry, yes, it's on a per product basis. Yes.
Music to my ears that's your benchmark. I love to hear that about our partners, that they do utilise our standard to make sure that their new products are still meeting those benchmarks. And you're very right, it is per product. So we do have organisations that have hundreds of products. So each one of those products has to be checked to ensure it conforms to all of those criteria. So an organisation will come to us. We work with a couple of assurance providers who will then quote for an assessment process. They'll go through that assessment on a desktop basis, so you will have to provide all your paperwork, your
very familiar with it,
your lab results, everything comes through. And then there's also an on-site assessment to make sure that those things are really done, and it is on a product basis, but we do look at an organizational level from a social aspect. So you need to make sure that you're fair pay, ethically treating staff. For us, sustainability is never about just the impact to the environment. It's about the people too. You have to look at sort of those impacts to the people that are not just using the product at the end, but are through that entire manufacturing process.
And I think what I love as well, which just keeps everything super transparent and honest, is it's not, again, just me going, oh, hi, Michelle. Yeah, I've checked all the boxes, and you're okay, Adam. And, we've got a nice, cozy relationship. We actually have a third party, independent, internationally accredited and recognized auditing, firm that actually then takes that standard and then goes through the checklist. And, we've had, those auditors coming out to our partner factories and checking all of their processes. So it really is deep. And like I said, whilst it's 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 not overwhelming. It's achievable. I think
Mm.
the other thing that I love about the standard is that you're also reviewing and refreshing the standard on a relatively regular basis. Every few years. So I
Yeah.
noticed that for the cleaning product standard, you recently updated that, and I
Yeah.
was talking with our supply chain head of supply chain, and she's kind of like, God, they've made, they've added a number of extra steps now, which kind of makes life a little bit more difficult. But of course, what it does mean is that you're starting to raise the bar, I guess,
Yeah.
a little bit higher
Yeah.
incrementally,
Yeah.
because obviously with these standards, what we can't do is you can't just have it so extremely impossible to achieve that nobody ends up
No.
signing up to the standard,
Yeah.
and it's kind of impossible,
Yeah.
because that way we're not going to move, we're not
Yeah.
going to make the shift, as a group, because we're talking obviously about millions of consumers. So
Hmm.
anyway, so I guess it's just important. It's a fluid thing. It's not just these standards aren't set in stone and
Correct.
here it is forever
Yeah.
and more. It's
Yeah.
constantly improving. As much as it makes it harder for us, I actually also I really appreciate the fact that it's a fluid sort of moving
It's a movement.
thing, really. Yeah.
Yeah. Sustainable is a word that is now used a lot more frequently for the right reasons. But we're about continuous improvement. You're exactly right. We don't want someone to just go to this point and go, right, we're there, we've done it. Yay, let's just stick there. There can be things that are done better. And no product is environmentally friendly, full stop, and fantastic for the environment or for sustainability purposes. I mean, the actual word product means it's being produced. Something has been used, either energy, raw materials, or whatever it is, there is something. So how can we make it the best possible product right now? But if better processes come on board, or less use of chemicals can be used because of the way things are manufactured, then we've got to recognise that. And we don't want to certify organisations that are just achieving. We want to certify leaders. Therefore, our standards need to improve. We need to make sure that we move with the times, or those benchmarks move with the times, as well as sort of keeping our finger to the pulse. I mean, there might be legal changes. If there are any legislation changes, we'd obviously need to adopt that straight away into our standards. So we really need to keep our finger on the pulse with all of our standards to make sure they remain sort of those benchmarks, those leaders.
So Michelle, I guess just to share with our customers and viewers, this is the logo that they should look out for. As we've discussed, it takes a lot of hard work for us to earn this badge. What does that mean at a top line? Again, just to recap, I guess, really, when customers see this on sort of various consumer packaged goods and products.
It's taken the hard work out of it for the consumers. There's a lot of green products, eco-friendly products, but what does that really mean? And I think we've spoken before about lots of these green messages coming out of these green marketing departments, and they really don't know sort of what they're saying, and often without malice. It's just yeah, well, we've done this right, and they think best intentions. Absolutely.
That's right.
So we've done the research. It's more than best intentions. For your cleaning products, it's making sure that there are limited chemicals, limited VOCs, which are your volatile organic compounds. It's making sure that the workers are not being impacted through that process of manufacture, that the workers have fair working rights, and that they've got good work health and safety practices. It's making sure that the runoff from the manufacturing of it is not going to go and harm the lovely aquatic life that we've got here in this country, globally. It's making sure that there's waste minimization. It's making sure that the product's packaging is not excessive, and we ask for there to be recycled content within the package. That there's biodegradability. It's we've done all that research. We've put it into a standard. And you mentioned earlier about transparency and how our standards are all available. Anyone can go onto our GECA website, have a look at all of our standards. You can see exactly what each organisation would have to comply to get GECA certification. So that tick just means that we've done the hard work for you. We've done the hard yard, and these organisations are really putting the effort in to show that commitment and to show that they have followed those processes and follow those really quite stringent standards.
Amazing. And look, listen, we'll put your the GECA website address in the notes below. I would encourage everyone to go and check out your website. It's got all of your partner brands, so everyone that's got certified products is listed there. So it's a great place. Everything from mattresses, furniture, paints. Really everything for that you can think of that you might need to use around the home. So Michelle, today is October the 13th. It's World Eco Labeling Day. Just as a recap, what's the key message that you're wanting to get out to all Australians today on this day?
I think it's about taking accountability. We all know that there are problems, and these problems need to be fixed, and it's down to you to fix it. Every one of you. It's not the government, it's not the manufacturers, it's not the retailers, it's not the consumers, it's everyone. We all need to make a different choice into how we purchase, how we produce, what legislations there should be. So it's really about us, and sustainability is the one place where you see organisations, competitors even working together. They want to make sure that there's a real great end of life solution for their product, and we've got a group of competitors that work together to look for those end of life solutions. It is about working together, but it's about you making a change. And I had a lovely quote. I'm going to have to read this one, sorry, because I don't remember. But I had a lovely quote from the chair from GEN, which is the Global Eco Labelling Network. And he says, it's Bjorn Erik Lon, and he says, little changes when made by everyone create a huge effect, making the much needed bigger changes possible. So, it's that wave, and let's all make one little change to make a huge change for the world and for the environment. We've got families, we've got kids, we want to have a planet for them. I want my children to grow up in a planet, my grandchildren, I want them to have a planet to grow up in with some green and not too much rain.
Yeah, and that's very much aligned to our ethos at Koh, which is a clean home for a clean planet, really. And that's if you can clean using certified eco-certified products, then you know that you're going to be doing your bit for the planet in the process. So I think that's a really great note to finish off on. Michelle, thank you so much. It's been a real privilege and an honor to be a partner of GECA's and carrying that badge, that really important badge on our Koh Universal Cleaner and our dishwashing products. So we'll continue on that relationship, and hopefully we'll get many others in the category as well, and in the cleaning products category, joining on and realizing that this is the way forward. And I'd encourage all of our competitors to submit their products and go through the process as well, because it really does, it just sets the standard. So thanks again, and have a great eco labeling day, and we'll chat to you very soon.
Thank you too. It's been a pleasure.